I was born in Hong Kong. I went to a French school. I have a twin brother and an older sister. And when I was about 11, I think it was 11 or 12, lost some of my memory then, I went through depression. And I mean, I didn't call it depression, but that's eventually what I realized it was. And I spent 2 years, what I would be able to say is basically suffering. Or I'm sure most of you have experienced some form of depression, but the hardest thing that I went through was just feeling alone, feeling alienated, feeling misunderstood. What I also discovered, and now I understand better, is that all my friends were self-centered, selfish, and you know that's what's expected of children. When you're 11, when you're 12, when you're 13, you're developing your ego actually. So you need to be selfish and self-centered, and you need to be thinking about who you are and what your identity is. But I couldn't help it. I had a really interesting question, which was, why am I here? What's the meaning of life? What's my purpose? And nobody was there to give me an answer. And for a very long time, only until recently, did I start to have an answer to that. So for up to now, I'm 40 years old, till about 39, 40, I'd been asking myself that question. Going through that depression, and again, subsequently when I was about 21 or 22, made me suffer, made me feel like sometimes it'd be nice to just die, to end up dead, just so that the suffering stops. And I think most people who go through depression have that feeling. And those who actually take their lives must have suffered really a lot to get to that point, to decide that it's so painful. And it's really emotional pain. It's not the physical pain. It's so painful that I also have to make other people, those that love me, suffer. But my pain is so strong that I will take my life, and knowing that I will make other people suffer. Fortunately, I find a way out. When I was about 13, 14 or something like that, I discovered that if I make other people happy, if I make other people smile, if I make other people laugh, then they get happy, and so do I. And so my coping mechanism out of depression, or my only way to find a tool out of this without having an answer to what's the meaning of life, to what's the purpose, was basically to simply go out and be nice to somebody, and go out and make them laugh, and just make them forget about their own suffering. So when I was preparing my talk this evening, I was thinking I wanted to start with a beautiful speech, but a beautiful entry talk, which I'm going to do now. It is my wish, my hope, that that for at least a moment in your lives, and I hope that moment lasts for infinity, that all of your burdens, your duties, your responsibilities, your worries and your fears, your anxieties, your expectations, or expectations that are put on you, your obligations to this and that, just be taken away for a moment, and that you get to experience genuine freedom, that your weight is lifted off of you, that you get a sense of peace, yeah, and that you find happiness. That's often what I wish for people. And so on my way to discovering how to be happy, I ended up I met my wife. She helped me stop taking drugs, stopping alcohol, or basically it was either the alcohol and the drugs, or it was, to stay with her. And there was a really good opportunity now to stop drugs and alcohol. If I can stay with my wife and she loves me, then she was my girlfriend at the time, then it's worth it. And so she gave me the courage to do that, or the strength to be able to do it. And I managed to stop, so I moved on. And then I started asking myself, I naturally used to help other people and friends, you know, make somebody laugh and make somebody smile, but how could I do that professionally? So I discovered something called the BodyTalk system. In 2011, I put it out there. I said to myself, what kind of modality I can learn, I can do, that I can learn while I've got a full-time job, that is something that I like to do, that's really good, that's got great qualities, and that's going to help me earn a living. I haven't figured that third one out. But about 6 months later, I discovered something called the BodyTalk system. The BodyTalk system is a healthcare modality that basically has maybe 2 or 3 important things that I want to share with you about it. At first, it looks at priorities rather than problems. So most people who come for help, health problems or healthcare or emotional problems, mental health problems, are talking about their problems. And we always think we have a problem and we always need to sort out our problems. When you go see most therapists, they will sort the problem out or they will address the problem. That kind of means that they're working on the symptom. You will meet some alternative therapists and alternative modalities that seek the cause. And what they're doing is they're looking for what's the priority. So when I first discovered this healthcare system, I realized that the first thing I want to do is look at the priority. So to give you a good example is somebody might come with a digestive problem or pains in their digestive system, and I would tune into their body to ask them what's the most important thing that needs to be addressed, and it so happens to be the heart. Because if we don't deal with the heart problem, then they're going to have a heart attack. Now, through the BodyTalk session, we look at the priority or the cause, we address these heart problems, and the body now can take care of what the person came for, which was their digestive issues. Okay, and that's disappeared. So that's what I discovered the BodyTalk system. It's a great healthcare modality because it addresses your physical body, your emotional and your vital body, so that would be the meridians and the chakras, your mental body, so that addresses your belief systems. Maybe a quick example of your belief system would be rich people are selfish. And then another belief system that's behind that is I'm not selfish. So when we had conflicting belief systems, that starts to impact our life, or how we address. Or you came for a talk and you talked about how you gave an example about how you were focusing on your belief system and you realized that your belief system was impacting your life. That's a perfect example of how our belief system are impacting our health, our life, and our health. So I discovered this great modality, and I was still seeking. I was still a seeker. I'm still trying to discover who am I. Can anybody put their hands up and say, and they know who they are? When I was 12 or 11, that was my question. And up till about when I discovered this form of meditation called Vipassana meditation, did I stop being a seeker. So I still don't know who I am, but I've realized, or I've discovered a way or a path or a methodology to get me to that answer. So this is probably the first time in my life as somebody who has been a seeker, who's looking for an answer to the meaning of life, who's actually found a way to get that answer. So today, I've decided and I've realized that one of my purposes today is to heal myself and other people, to teach people about their problems, their illnesses, or to teach them about what they should be doing in their lives or how they need to act, or get them to understand where they want to go, to inspire them, to bring happiness and joy, which I can't help doing, and to guide them when they need to. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen. And if you